Welcome to A Word with Wayde. I'm Wayde, your host, and I'll be sitting down with artists from all over the country. We'll dive into their craft, their stories, and the moments that shape their sound. No matter the journey these artists have made, you'll hear about it on A Word with Wayde. So our next guest is an acoustic rock alternative country music artist from Adelaide. He is a crafter of songs that either get you moving or take you away in your mind to just enjoy a great tune. He's also a member of the Adelaide band 11 Days. I'd like to welcome to the show, Brett Gray.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing, man?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm really good.
Brilliant.
So the last time I saw you, you were spruiking a CD, so I thought that might be a good place to start, which we've got a copy of it right here.
Fantastic.
11 Days and Then Some.
That's right.
Very catchy title. Obviously a throwback to the band.
Exactly, yes.
Also, if you stay tuned, we are going to give a copy of that away. I'll tell you about how you can win that, so stick around. I guess a really good place to start for me, because I've only known you a relatively short amount of time, is what got you started on this journey of music?
Quite literally, or two things. One, my father was, as we understand it, he's been gone a long time now, but my brother is a drummer, by the way, which I'll come back to.
Cool.
My dad was, we believe, was a drummer in the Navy Cadets, like a marching band kind of snare drumming.
Yeah, right. Okay, cool.
So my brother and I always had really good timing and percussiveness. Like, so we're self-taught drummers, which is not that common, I don't believe. As opposed to learning guitar, sometimes people sort of fudge their way through and use books, whatever. But to do percussion, you actually have to have time, and it's like an inherent thing.
Absolutely.
Having said that, virtually every woman you've ever seen can dance,
yes.
So they've got really good timing too. But that doesn't mean that translates to drums. But anyways, I digress. So that was the first thing. So I always had rhythm and beats in my mind. My brother and I, we'd tap on things all over the place. But when I was 13, my cousin, I went to my nana's house, and my cousin played me a song from an album of Bryan Adams' Reckless, which is the one that had Summer 69, Run to You, Heaven, etc.
Yep.
Unbelievable album.
Yeah, classic.
And I literally remember that she played it, and within seconds, I heard his voice and the rockiness of it, and I literally turned and I said, "What is that?" I just went, wow. And it was an absolute sliding doors moment. And that minute, I said, I want to be able to do that. And that's what got me. That's what happened.
Yep.
And and then from there, I've just plodded along teaching myself this and that, writing songs that
I love that.
To get to that point,
So I guess that begs the question to me. You've obviously been writing songs from the very beginning of your musical career. What took so long for you to put out your album?
Good question. I'd actually, frankly, I was never good enough.
Okay.
I feel more confident now that I've had years of playing live, that I'm comfortable and confident with my ability. I'm by no means the best singer or guitar player or songwriter, either of them, but I think I do all three of them well enough for the average person. So if you take somebody like, I don't know, Whitney Houston just came to mind, right? Unbelievable singer. But as far as I know, maybe she couldn't play an instrument. Maybe she didn't write the songs, but she was an amazing singer.
Performer,
So, and then you look at people like your Bruce Springsteens and those kinds of guys, that they play their own songs, write their own songs, whatever. But he did it from a time when I think he was already good enough to do what he needed to do. Some people disagree; they don't like his stuff, but that's fine. But and what he did is he just committed his whole life to doing that. I did record some stuff in earlier years.
Yep.
In fact, some of these songs that are on this album were recorded a long time ago. And are not as good as they are now because I improved and the song structure improved and all those things. But also because in my family it would have been not the done thing to become a musician and try and become a rock star and not work, and so I did all that first, and now it's now or never, basically.
Would it be fair to say that's why you took the route of doing like 11 Days and Magnetic and things like that, as a way kind of like of, I guess, cutting your teeth, so to speak?
Yes. My brother, who I said was the drummer, he's the drummer in the 11 Days band, he's the drummer on the album.
Okay.
And just by the way, we've just just barely started some demos for the next album, but that's going to take a while.
Oh, that's good to hear, though.
Yeah,
Good
so
to hear.
and hopefully it'll be as good or better than the last one. Some friends of mine who actually played guitar, I don't know how, but they came across an acoustic drum kit,
Yep.
and one of the brothers wanted to sell it for $150. Back, we're talking
Yeah.
late 90s. And I said, I'll buy it, because I knew my brother, who'd never really played on proper drum, but I knew he had, from just listening to him,
Yeah.
I knew he could do it. So I bought this kit, gave it to him with the idea that we're going to try and I'm going to play some of the songs that he never even knew that I sang or played. And I'm going to say, can you play along to what I'm doing? And then, and it's funny, his, how do I say this, wife at the time, we literally started playing, I don't know what the songs were, but I don't know what the song was, but we started playing, just the two of us in a room with like a snare drum and a kick drum and whatever, and me playing. And she walked in, and her jaw dropped because she had zero comprehension that we could do that.
Yeah, right.
And when he and I together, because we're both percussive, we're very tight, what they call in the pocket.
Yeah.
So when we play together, we're like brothers would be. We really know what each other's doing.
Yeah.
And that's why he's such a good drummer for me, because I can just say, now can you do it like this? And bang, and he can do it. You know, it's unreal.
Yeah, so I guess probably a bit of a cliche question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, as we are talking a bit about, your original music.
Sure.
What sort of things do you draw inspiration from? I know I've heard stories of other musicians, it could be real life stuff, relationships and so forth. Could be stuff they see on TV, movies, all that kind of stuff. What about yourself? What's your kind of main source of inspiration?
It's a good question. Things just actually have to hit you, and it could be that you're just playing a particular chord progression, or you hear something. I'll give you a really insane one. A very sad situation was we've had two little doggies, and they're our children. We don't have children, and one of them passed away last year, and that was really heartbreaking, because our first pets. Anyways, and something just hit me, and this line, and nobody else, maybe two people know this, so I'm exclusive.
Oh, exclusive.
And I came up with this line just hit me. In my mind it just said, and I said, this was because we had to put him to sleep, so we knew in advance this was going to happen. And I said, what do you say when it's time to say goodbye? And that line just hit me, and I went, and this never usually works this way, but this is just a point to say, sometimes it can be a lyric, sometimes it can be a sound that you're like, da-na-na-na, or whatever, and you go, hey, that sounds like a good riff. In this case, it was literally a sentence, a line, and I went, this could be an appropriate thing to do. So, and I'm one of these people that you really got to get it down on paper, or you're going to forget about it.
Absolutely, I'm the same.
Yeah, exactly. So, especially for what you do, obviously. And I created, there's actually going to be a song for that. It's very poignant and very sad, but meaningful.
Yeah.
And it was based all around that situation. Now, whereas some of the other things that I typically do is I'll write a song, and I often write in the third person.
Okay.
So, he did this, she did that, whatever. But it could be based on something that might have happened to me to a point, and then I'll embellish the story from there.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know, you had a breakup with somebody, and then this is what actually happened, but that's boring. So let's say that this happened.
Creative license.
And then we'll just say, but actually that's what happened next, and it didn't. But I'll write it in the third person as though it's about this guy and that girl, or whatever it be. That's how I do it.
I get that, because I'm a bit sort of similar in some ways, in the sense, whereas I might say want to talk about a breakup, for example, and so I'll draw on a whole bunch of different of my experiences, maybe even some of friends have confided in me, and I'll take a little bit to that and just mash them all together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I've never thought about doing it in third person, though, to be honest. I seem to always do it from my perspective, even if it's not specifically about me.
But that's why it's good to have these chats, because you learn things from other people.
Absolutely.
And you go, I didn't think of doing it that way. And it might actually give you that little inspiration to take things differently.
Absolutely.
And so somebody could say, hey, I heard about, there's a song on there called So Alone, about a guy flying in to see this a woman, and she says, hey, I don't feel the same way, even though all along he was led to believe that was the case. Now that actually happened to me.
Yeah, wow.
And flying around flying to the other side of the world.
Yeah, wow. That's crazy.
So what I did is I took it, it sort of worked itself out, and then it never continued, but it was a great experience.
Yeah.
And it's certainly an amazing story and a great thing to use, a great topic for a song. But as I said, I used that part of it. It doesn't say it's about me, but it actually did occur to me.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the song isn't what happened.
Yeah,
I just took it in a different direction.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you've got to do that. I mean, it's like when you watch a movie that's based on a true story. If they did it literally as it happened in real life, most of the time it's not really going to be engaging. And,
it's probably very boring. And
So, but I guess the point is that the genesis of the idea comes from something that you or someone you know has experienced. So you've got that
absolutely
connection and like it relates. So,
but it could be something like some sort of current affair situation. And I don't know what's going on in the Middle East or what's going on in Europe or something like that, and you think, how can I twist that around that it's? I never say, I don't know, Russia, Ukraine or something like that. I just somehow make it sort of abstract.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to do it right at this minute, but it would be, this group of people and this group of people don't get along, and this is what they're doing or whatever, and it might never reference exactly what you're referring to. But you're using that as the way to actually generate the ideas in your mind.
Absolutely, yeah. Now that's actually a really good point you make there, and I think a really good piece of advice, somewhat, for those maybe watching that might be struggling and want to get into songwriting. I think that's a really cool way to take it.
Yeah, so. I think it's I listen, because I write songs. I listen to lyrics. I can't listen to bad singers, and I can't listen to bad lyrics.
Yeah,
I just can't. And that's not to say all mine are great. Mine could certainly be better, but and I say to people, like, if I say I love you and you love me too, it's a bit just come on. You can do better than that. That kind of thing. And like I say, writing in a sort of an abstract manner, where you're not actually always giving away exactly what you're trying to say, leaves it open to the
interpretation.
The interpretation of it. You know what I mean?
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I've always liked very abstract type artworks.
Yeah.
Because it's not like this is a painting of a dog or this is a painting of a tree. It's like
it's what you want it to be.
What is that? What do I get from that? What's my soul here when I look at that painting?
Exactly.
I reckon we probably better let you get into the mind frame for your gig tonight. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for taking time to have a chat on A Word with Wayde. If someone watching wants to win this CD, please leave a comment and like and subscribe. I'll put the details on the screen, and I'll pick a winner by the next episode and draw that, and you can win a copy of Brett Gray's debut album.
Fantastic.
Which I can say with absolute certainty, whether it's the best it could be, as you put it, it's a great listen. It's one of those albums you can put on start to finish, and you don't have to skip anything, which I think is a really great achievement.
Yeah, thank you.
Whether or not it charts, I think music is so subjective that
of course.
Charting is not an indication of a good song. If you heard some of the stuff on the charts lately.
I know. That's one of the best compliments, and I've heard people say that they can listen to every song. And that's not that normal. And that's probably the biggest compliment.
Honestly, I think to achieve that as an artist, I think is a really great achievement. To do it on your first album is just incredible, and it speaks to, I think, the authenticity of how you convey your stories and message in your music. So, just very quickly, one last thing. Where can we catch you playing sort of over the next few weeks? I know you've got something coming up in December with Magnetic as like a farewell for you.
So
what about solo and?
So I'm playing every week pretty much somewhere. I typically play, but it's interesting. I don't. I've got the Brett Gray that plays solo pub gigs and things like that, but then there's the persona of the original artist, which doesn't play in pubs but plays in stadiums, but never happens.
That's all right, it will.
But everything, and I'll put, for that CD, for example, I'll put a little slip in there which has a Linktree link. But if people just go to any of the socials and it's Brett Gray Music, it's AY, not EY. And I'm not the guy in America who's a hip hop artist called Brett Gray, and he's a black guy, and I'm not him. It's a different guy. But any of the Facebook, Insta, YouTube.
We'll put it up on the screen for people to
all of those things. And the great one is Bands in Town, that free app, where you can actually follow artists. It's free, but every gig comes up.
There you go. Look up Brett Gray on bands in town
Yeah.
and stay. And I can say with because I've seen it on socials, this guy gets around like a lot in the best way possible.
I was going to say,
musically.
you can take that a few different ways.
Yeah, musically, he's everywhere, every weekend. He doesn't rest, this guy. So you can catch him everywhere around the place and enjoy some really great music. So thank you again, Brett.
My pleasure. Thank you.